You can't hear me. You could probably hear me now. One day I'm gonna get this all together where it'll work properly. One day. One day. Thank you for joining me while you are here. Feel free to hit that subscribe button. Feel free to okay. Feel free to hit the subscribe button. Feel free to follow, hit the notification bell so you know anytime that I post anything up on this channel. I appreciate you guys being here with me. Hey Tamika. Um, I am so excited to talk today about conversation because conversation rules our nation. Oh God. I'm trying to set my stuff up properly. Okay, here we go. I am eating today. You know, if you know, I've been a little under the weather. I am extremely under the weather. I am sweating tremendously. Um, I've been drinking a lot of tea, staying hydrated. Right now, this is what I'm eating for dinner: seafood ramen. Got some mussels and some shrimp. That's like ramen. I mean, that's like lobster. They say it's what it tastes like. I don't know. We shall see. Tonight we are going to talk about conversation. And I wanted to talk about conversation because I always say in every one of the videos that I do, I say use your words. And some people do not understand why I say that. And I say that because that is the most important thing that I feel we should pass on to the next generation. We should tell each other every day. We all experience things, um, and a lot of cycles, generational curses, bitterness, anger, strife, fights, murders. All these things happen from miscommunications, from people not even just being able to talk. Like you'll see, like instead of people getting an actual divorce, they're trying to. There's murder for hire plots. There's all these different things. So today I wanted to focus the topic of conversation, um, about conversation. Y'all might see me sweat a lot. It's okay. I'm just sweating out you know, all of whatever this is. Fingers crossed it's nothing but just a cold, and I'm not, speaking anything on myself. I'm just being realistic. We are in a global, what it is. And I have been eating sriracha, and I put some sriracha in my noodles. So this is gonna be like a ASMR conversation type thing. No, it's really not. But yeah, so I really want to talk about conversation, especially because I know. Oh, that was so cold going down. Especially because I know there's young people that watch me. And I always want to make sure whenever I say something, I want to be inspiring, share positivity and love. Hello, adoring Ali. Is that how you say it? I think I crushed it. I didn't get all the shells out of there. It's okay. But yeah, so tonight we're going to talk about conversation. We're going to talk about conflict resolution. We're going to talk about everything when it comes to conversation. If you are an adult, even if you are whatever age you are, I think it is important for you to be able to communicate your feelings, to put words to your feelings. If you are angry, understand why you are angry and be able to communicate why you are angry. A lot of times we would rather people just hold it on the inside, and there's a lot of us who are just holding it on the inside and not sharing our true feelings, and then we expect people to um know how we feel when we haven't said anything. I haven't told you how I feel, so how would you know how I feel unless you are able to read minds? Now that is a whole nother thing. But communication is the most important thing. Communication is important, but comprehension is also equally as important as communication, because you can tell somebody you made me angry. Why, how, what did I say, what did I do that made you angry? If you don't know, most people you made me angry. They have no response. They don't know how to express that you have made them angry. They just, you made me angry. What made you angry? You. What about me that make you angry? I felt like um on this journey of healing and self-discovery, I realized in myself, although I am a awesome communicator, I could communicate. Y'all watch me, see me talking. I am a great communicator. It's just when things like bothered me, or I'm trying to find a word here. There, when things bother me or really, really, really irritated me, instead of me saying that really irritated me, I just went along with it. Well, I have come to the understanding that I am currently surviving a global pandemic. I would usually say that word in there, but I don't know how old Adoring Ali is, and I want to be respectful of my younger viewers today. Just today. Um no, but I think it's important for you to be able to express that. Like, it was important for me as I was growing up, going through therapy, um or not therapy when I was younger, but when I was an adult and I went to therapy, I understood the importance of being able to communicate my feelings, being able to put words to my feelings. So when I got to that age, and I went and talked to my mother and my father, if you watched this channel before, you know that my relationship with my parents, wasn't a mother daughter father relationship. It was just two human beings that I know, and I treat them respectfully because I know them and I'm just a person that, shares love. It wasn't until like I was 33, I'm 41 now, but it wasn't until I was 33 when I was like, you know what, I have to address this because this has been plaguing me my entire life. Like, the relationship with my mother, it was plaguing me because I'm like, I love this woman. Like, I truly do love her. Like, even to this day, I still love my mom. But I love her, but there is a disconnect between us, and I couldn't understand what the disconnect was. And me, I'm an inquisitive person, so if I want to know something, I'm going to ask you. That's just me. I don't mean any harm. I'm not trying to be funny or anything. If I don't know anything, I'm going to ask you. Most people take it as me being sarcastic, but it's not being sarcastic, because if I don't know, I don't want you to assume that I know. I would rather, ask you. So I talked to my parents and I had a conversation with my mother, and it really put things in perspective for me. So um I apologized to her cuz, like, as an adult, I felt like this is what a parent, this is what a mother, this is what should have happened, but I didn't understand her and her life. And now that's not giving her a pass, that's understanding. That's another part of communication. There's so many different parts of this, but it was me understanding where she was, what happened, how all of the things came to be. And it was like, oh, wow. So I apologized because I had put expectations on her that at that time she wasn't able to, that she, it just wasn't. And then I had a conversation with my father, and that's when he proceeded to tell me that he had lost, I had lost a sister. I had lost a sister. Wow. So I lost a sister, and no one had talked to him about trauma. No one had talked to him about grief. No one had talked to him about death. So he just went about it the best way that fitted him. And it wasn't until I actually talked to him about our relationship that he acknowledged the fact that my sister had passed before me. A whole different side of this man I had never seen. So once I had that conversation and he opened up to me, it was like a part of me was just like, I just needed to hear that, and I felt better. And then like our relationship grew, and then he like was so involved, like called me all the time. I'm gonna tell you, my parents call me more now than they have in my entire life. Now they've, you know, did parents thing, but now it's like calling, it's all of that for me. And I'm grateful for it because it wasn't like this before. So grateful. That's what I am. But even in not even communicating with just my mother and my father, but communicating with my brothers, and letting them know, like, this is these what should happen, this what shouldn't happen, this is what you should allow. If you feel in some kind of way, always talk about it. So it was weird for me to be the always talk about it person, and then I was just being quiet because I was like, man, hmm. Like this previous situation I was in, I was just being quiet. I was just sitting over here in my own little world doing my own little thing, and I wasn't going to say anything about what happened, but you know, other people felt like it was important to talk about it. So now I am talking about it. I'm ready to talk about it. You can't, no one should tell you how you, we want to tell people how they should respond to the things that happen to them, but we can't. That's not our place to tell. Like someone telling me like, okay, you were molested when you were younger, but you can't talk about it right now because that person is older, and they, no, you can't tell me not to talk about it. It happened to me. One of the repercussions, or one of the causes of the effect, or the effect of the cause, well, however that go, is that I'm going to one day get older and talk about what happened to me. That's like, I definitely encourage families to talk. There is this thing, I'm doing this because I really just think it only happens because people don't talk, or people do talk but people don't really do shit. I probably should have gave a disclaimer. Adoring Ali, I'm sorry, I'm going to use some cuss words. um Generational curses. This is why I do this, because it's things that aren't addressed, things that aren't nipped in the bud, um, things that are covered, uh, things that are swept under the rug. I'm pretty sure you're familiar with some of the things. Like when I'm saying these things, there are things popping into your mind, and you can think about things that have been um, swept or covered. Um, Perfect example: molestation. You know somebody in your family, somebody in your family, somebody in your friend's family, somebody on the block, somebody, we've all heard the stories of people being molested, right? My thing when it comes to that, this is why it's important to have a conversation. It's important for people to talk. Um because I feel like, I'm speaking of a hypothetical situation because this did not happen in my family. My family is very protective and we talk about a lot of things, but this is what I'm saying. If you are, let's say you're 50, your younger sibling is 45, your other younger sibling is 35. You have younger siblings, you're 50. If you have an Uncle Pete or Auntie Sally, I don't know why I just made these names up, but there's, hey. If you know that Uncle Pete touched you, then he touched the 45-year-old. There's no way. No way. Uncle Pete, number one, Uncle Pete shouldn't have been touching you. That's number one. But that's where, covering up, oh, he just got a problem or she just got a problem. She going through a real, no, 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 no. Jail, police, something. There's no way Uncle Pete or Aunt Sally should have been touching you. There's no way in hell it should have got to the 45-year-old. No way. It should have been addressed. Uncle Pete should have been in jail. Uncle Pete should have got institutionalized. Whatever Uncle Pete needed, he should have got the help that he needed. But if Uncle Pete touched you at 50 and then comes all the way down to your youngest sibling, that isn't a generational curse. That's what people will put it on. Oh, that's just a generational curse. No, that is people not standing up and taking charge. I don't know what happens when, like, how do you know that a child has been touched and you don't want to say something about it? You see me, I'm talking about it. I can't in my mind know that a child has been touched and not tell somebody in a position that can do something about it. Even if I have to go live and talk about it, I will go live and talk about it. Raise people interest to say, let me take a further look into what's going on. I'm not going to sit by and let anybody that I know come and tell me this is not for you to say. I'm not going to tell I show anything. Because listen, if you tell me, I'm going to do something about it. I'm not going to tell you not to tell me. I'm going to tell you to tell me because I'm going to do something about it. That's the thing. That was the thing for me. I was growing up and things were happening to me, and I was telling people in my mind, I was like, okay, they're going to do something about it because I know them. They're going to do something about it. Nothing happened. It was more questions about me and what kind of clothes was I wearing? Where was I at? Or what was I doing to entice? I am young. I don't know nothing about entice. How do I know entice? My calves are enticing you. I didn't know calves turn people on. I mean, I'm not making light of the situation. I was just nervous last there. We gotta, we have to protect our family members. We have to protect ourselves. We have to protect those around us. We have to do that. I watched a video on TikTok, right? The lady said she was gonna piss a lot of people off because she said everybody want to know why we don't want the village or the community to raise our children. And she said, I'll tell you why. She said, because y'all protect child molesters, y'all protect rapists, y'all to protect people that do. And I was just like, you know what? That makes a whole lot of sense. Because if you think about it, right? Maybe you are the 50-year-old and maybe you did tell your mother and father that Uncle Pete or grandpa or your daddy, or in some cases, mamas and daddies be doing this. Maybe you did tell some. Maybe you told your grandmama. Maybe you told your auntie, right? And they didn't believe you because they had heard before. Somebody else before you had came. Because trust me, if it's one of them, it done happened before. Somebody just swept it up under the rug. They either throwing money at it or they sending people down south or up north or to another country. Y'all know how people do. Um, so you tell somebody, right? And instead of them actually doing something, they tell you don't repeat that. They tell you why would they choose you? They tell you all of these different things instead of just even inquiring to see. Inquiring to see. I'm gonna tell y'all something that I do. I pay attention to people. As a person who has been molested, I pay attention to people. Um, as an adult, I love kids, but I'm not overly with kids, especially kids I don't know. I'm not. But when people be overly with kids and teenagers, it's a listen. If you have a child, you have a teenager, and they be on Snapchat and Facebook. Listen, I'm not telling you to invade their privacy, but I'm telling you to put your eyes on it, because human trafficking is at an all-time high. And this is why it's important for you as a parent or an adult in a teenager's or a young child's life, because we've seen news stories of 22-year-olds and 15s, 13s, and 30s. We've seen the news stories, and those children, those teenagers are looking for love and affection. You probably like, but I hug them and I tell them I love them, but at the same time you're yelling at them and they're telling you how they feel, and there's just a lot of miscommunication. But that's why we're here to talk about conversation, so that we can open up the airways of communication. So if your child is feeling any kind of way, if your child is feeling any kind of way, if you sense that, my daughter is a little sassy now, or my son is being more aggressive, or he's, being more violent. Because, sometimes in guys, that's what happened. They feel like they have to protect themselves. So they have to become more masculine. They have to, sow their wild oats. Like, we see these signs all of the time, but we just don't think anything of them because, either we too busy with work, or we tired from work, or we got a party turn up in a global pandemic. I don't even know why. But we see these things and we don't address them because we feel like maybe if they really want to talk, they'll come talk to us. But the reality of it is we don't have that. It's mm, the communication highway is blocked with tons of things. Like, there's like, even look at this, right? Even a child, or even an adult who is in the closet will feel, I don't want people to talk about me. People going to look at me different. People, all of these, they will go through all of these things. And I'm not just talking about people in the closet. Like, even an adult, if you want to quit your job and start your own business, you're going to feel some kind of way because you already know that the people around you going to be like, that's dumb. Why would you do that? You got this good job. That's because a lot of times we are so opinionated that we live like us. We live in the people going to think, what people going to think. I'm going to tell you the first thing. Let me tell you the first thing about conversation. Do not give a flying fish on a Friday in February at 5 o'clock of what? Now, take into considerations other people's opinions when it comes to, like, major things, but trust yourself. That's what I'm gonna tell you. If you know that you don't want to have this, you want to quit this job and go start your own business, that you'll be more happy. You'll wake up happy. You'll wake up ready to take over the world. Go do that. But if at this moment, right now, I'm talking to you, whoever you are, if at this moment you are worried about somebody calling you dumb, somebody calling you stupid, somebody saying you that's the worst decision you should ever make, ignore that. Because guess what? Even if it is, even if you do fail, guess what? You could take what you learned and you could start over. As long as you breathing, as long as you're alive, you could start over. It's not the end. If you fail, you can get back up and try again. Like riding a bike. Like, we need to be more encouraging with people to talk. Talk. You are in a relationship that you know that you don't want to be in. You tired of it. It's getting too much for you. You know that he cheating, she cheating, y'all cheating. Let it go. Especially if you have kids. You probably like, oh, we doing this for the kids. You know how many people I've heard say that they were doing it for the kids, but in reality, those kids don't know nothing about y'all. They don't know nothing. They're not like, oh, my mommy and that. They don't care. It's like you buy your kids all these really nice gifts for their birthday, and they over there sitting in the corner playing with the box. Now you mad because you spent all your money on these gifts. I could have left. You did it for you. If you are a parent, think about this, right? A lot of the things that you do when it comes to your kids aren't necessarily for your kids. They're for you. Think about it, right? Your child went to Walmart, saw them little light up shoes, and you was like, my child ain't never wearing no light up shoes, but your child cried, rolled in the floor of Walmart for them shoes, but you done went over there and bought your baby some Jordans, and now they're getting older, and now they're going to high school. Now they need to have those, you set these morals and values in them where they have to have nice things, name brand clothes and all of these things. And now you don't have the money to afford them. So now they got to go out and steal or hustle or do whatever they do. That's like here in Wisconsin, there is this stolies is what they call it. I'm gonna do a lot of these because these aren't my words; these are other people's words. Stolies is where young kids or teenagers, or I think some adults, I don't know, male and females. Now, let me tell y'all how shocked I was when I found out there was females doing this. Now I knew males do it. I knew there was like one or two, but like no, there are like gangs of people stealing cars, and they steal. If you got a Hyundai, a Kia, get you an alarm, get you one of them clubs. You you better secure your car if you're in Wisconsin. Secure it. So everyone is like, there was this one incident where the young man stole the car and somebody put him on Facebook and was like, hey, he's just hopped out of this car. And the man was like, you know what? You steal my car. We all know. Somebody takes something from you. What you think? What just popped in your head? I wish somebody would, right? So the young man was like, if somebody take my car, I'm going to discipline him. He didn't say he was going to shoot him. He didn't say none of that. He said he's going to discipline him. He had a belt. A belt is what he had. The mother got mad. Ma'am, your son is out here stealing this man's car. Now it could have ended a whole nother way, but he just had a belt. A belt. Your son stole his car. He could have, we all know what he could have did, but he didn't. He just chose to use a belt. Now, I'm not with I'm all for talking. But he did talk to him. He talked to him and then was like, you need to stop being out here because I got a belt, but somebody else could have, you use your imagination what somebody else would have. And the mother was mad. She was on Facebook like, ain't nobody gonna do, ma'am. Your son is out here stealing cars. He was blessed. I don't use that word often, but I'm going to say he was blessed to find someone that decided to use a belt on him than a gun or, I mean, because people work hard for their stuff. We're talking tonight about conversation. Maybe that child feels, I don't know, he don't have enough attention at home, or he liked the thrill of hopping in and out of cars and swerving through traffic, or he feels some kind of family with the people that he's hopping in and out of cars with, or he's doing this for a young lady and she thinks that he's cool. Like there's so many different variables to that. But that's when it is our job as adults to say, hey, that's not a good idea to do that. But how many adults are actually telling people it's not a good idea to do that? Not only good idea to do that. Like, remember when you was little and they was like, "Don't touch the stove." I don't know if you like me, but me when it's like, "Don't touch the stove," it's like, why shouldn't I touch the stove? What is a stove? Like I had all these different questions. I'm a very inquisitive person. I just need to know. So for me, it's like, okay, one day I touched the stove and I got burnt. Oh, I probably would have not touched the stove if you would have told me it was hot and I would have got burnt. Yeah, I would have saved myself the scars. But we don't do that. We just don't talk to him or don't talk to her. They're not your friends. What makes you feel like these people are not our friends? Parents, you do that. That person is not your friend. We're going to need a little bit more in depth with that because right now I feel like they my friend. Maybe you see something I don't see. Maybe you see they snaking me behind my back. Maybe you see they just not up to par. I don't know, but communicate that. If your daughter is in a relationship and you see some things that you feel like is domestic violence towards or it's abuse, say something. Say something. You could really save her life or his life. Say something. I don't know if y'all been paying attention, but domestic violence, like all of these things are high, especially because I'm not going to say especially because we've been in a global penny, but I'm going to say that has something to do with it. We've been enclosed with people for a large amount of time. If you know that somebody is being abused whether physically, mentally, emotionally. I want to say as a human being, I just think that I know people say mind your business, but there's no way I'm gonna see a woman getting beat at the Walmart or anywhere, and I don't call the police or so. I was gonna say security, but they be scared too. I don't know, but get her some help. Get her some help. I'm not gonna say you get her some help and then she go home with them. Hey, at least she know that somebody out there in the world will get her some help. You probably like, man, we done beat up this bird or we done did all of this for so long and she still go back with him. That's when you begin to talk to them in a loving manner. Don't like we gotta learn. This is the thing about conversation, right? We have to learn to use love and kindness when we speak to people. If you yelling at me, like I'm not yelling at y'all. I hope y'all don't feel like I'm yelling at y'all, but I'm talking to you in a place of love where when you go to approach your child or your teenager and you're wondering why they're spending so much time in their room and they're not coming out and they were once a bubbly teenager or they was always out hanging out, the life of the party, all of that, that means that something is going on. Something. um it's important for us to talk to one another. It's important for us to talk to one another because we might not feel comfortable coming to our mothers and saying, hey, um, Uncle Pete is touching me. Maybe you feel like you can go to your older cousin, or you talk to your other cousin, and then your cousin is like, well, Uncle Pete touched me too. And now Uncle Pete should definitely be dealt with. Or you talk to your cousin, and your cousin is like, you know what? This what happens. When you tell someone is doing something to you, part of you is looking for somebody to respond. You're looking for someone to protect you as a child or as a teenager, or as a young person, or period. You are looking to know that someone is going to protect you. For me, I just really wanted to know that somebody was going to protect me. I felt like I wasn't protected. So I had to take matters in my own hand and protect myself. What was I protecting myself from? I don't even know. Because stuff still happened. I guess it just gave me a sense in my mind like I was actually doing something, but I really wasn't. I was only hurting myself in the end. But it took me how many years to figure that out? So that's why I'm saying, like, if we're talking about it right now, like right now, you're probably thinking, like, you know what? I'm never gonna talk to my grandmother, auntie, uncle, or somebody again because they know what they did to me. I'm sure that they know what they did to you. I think it's important for you, hey Slide. I think it's important for you to forgive yourself. Like people talk about forgiveness. Hold on, let me get me some water. Here's where I have a little mm, here's where I'm a little indifferent when it comes to forgiveness. Um I'm more for forgiving myself cuz a lot of the guilt of the things lies with you. Cause like for years, I was like, you know what? Maybe it was the way I wore my ponytail, or maybe it was the way that I had the white gym socks on my calves. I don't know. I just took on that responsibility of guilt. Like it was mine. I held that. When in actuality, none of that was mine. Like you're probably walking around with guilt. I'm not saying that you are, I'm just saying you probably walking around with guilt of something that happened to you in your childhood or in your adulthood, teenage years, whatever, and the situation was beyond you, but you're carrying it because it happened to you. When you realize that shouldn't have never happened to you in the first place. So I made it my thing to talk to my brothers. It's like, yeah, you can. always come to me at any time about anything. Now, as in a 40-year-old, 41-year-old woman, a lot of the things I wish my brothers, didn't tell me, cuz now I'm just like, "Oh my god, d- what why did I say that?" Cuz you don't want to be knowing all of these things, but I am happy that they feel like they could come and tell me those things. Like they feel comfortable. We have open dialogues, conversations, 2 o'clock in the morning calls. Like we literally call and have conversations. Like we are, then we do come from a family that talks a lot, but we have open dialogues. I really feel like people should open the dialogues with their families, with kids, teenagers. Everybody should be able to talk. And this is another thing, right? If someone trusts you, because that's trust when someone comes and say, "Hey, this happened to me." If you are the type to run and put it on the wings of the morning, "Oh, so and so." That's why part of the reason why I told you guys what happened to me, because I just feel like a lot of people are suffering in silence. You don't have to be silent if you were molested. You don't have to be silent if you were raped. You don't have to be silent if your auntie, uncle, cousin, sister, brother, grandma, mama, and daddy touched you. You don't have to be silent. Um, it is important for you to let that go. Let it go. It happened to you. I'm not telling you to get over it. I'm not telling you to get around it, because again, I am 41. It never leaves. It's always there. You have to figure out what is best for you. You have to figure out what works best for you. But I'm going to tell you this: alcohol, drugs, and sex do not work. I don't care what anyone says. Oh, they do. It does. It feels great. All of those things. It does not work. The thing that works is getting to the root of the problem. Like if you look at somebody or somebody say something that makes you angry, I don't necessarily think it was that person that said something that made you angry. It was something that happened. It was something that you stored in there. Or maybe 2 weeks ago when y'all had a conversation, they said that thing and that thing bothered you then, but you didn't say anything about it. And now here it is on the third week and they said the same thing. And it's like, oh, you know what? I can't stand you. I hate when you say that. What makes you use the word HATE? Hate. That's a strong word. Hate. I've had a lot of things happen to me in my life, but I don't hate anything. I despise the fact that I'm that I'm under the weather right now. I despise that, but I don't hate it because I'm still breathing. You know what I'm saying? But I don't hate it. Um, but I'm able to communicate that with y'all. Like I communicated like I am a little nervous, a little bit. I mean, every time I cough and sneeze, I'm in here by myself, but I still yeah, I'm a little nervous. I'm not even gonna trip. I'm not even gonna hold y'all. Yes, I am. I literally just said in the conversation earlier, I said, it's crazy because I was juicing, never got sick, never felt bad, anything. But what happened was I decided to eat barbecue. And I'm not saying that this is just happening because I ate barbecue, but then it could be because I was drinking juice and eating fruits and vegetables. It wasn't no like heavy foods. It wasn't none of that. And then I was like, I'm gonna eat some barbecue. And then I ate some barbecue one day. And then they barbecued again. And I was like, I'm gonna eat some more barbecue. You shouldn't be eating it, but it was so good. And then I'll start to feel sluggish, and it was just all these different things. And then I had some peanut butter, and I was like, wait a minute, I'm allergic to peanut butter, but it's so good, so let me eat it. And then I was like, no, you are 41 now. You are not going to eat dairy. You are not going to eat these things that make you sick. It's like we know it's not good for us, but we just do it because it makes us feel some kind of way. I am divorcing those feelings. I am thinking more about my health. So the other day when I started to get a little congested, Tamika noticed it. Um, I just pumped myself full of teas and waters. That's all I drank. I drink peppermint tea. Lemon zinger tea is supposed to be good for antibiotic antibiotical. I don't know what it is, but it's supposed to be good for that. For when you're sick, it's supposed to help. So I just pump myself full of teas. I'm feeling better. I'm sweating a lot, but I mean I work out too. So um, but yeah, I just want us to talk more. That's why it's Sunday dinner and convo. I should probably eat some more of my dinner so it doesn't get cold. It's actually pretty good. And I hit it with that sriracha to open my nasal passages because I can't breathe. I mean, wait, I can breathe. It's just, it's this what it does. One side's open, the other side closes. It's irritating. Anywho, we can even go as far as talking about like family structures, like talking about family structures or talking about entrepreneurship, or we can have a conversation about like financial literacy. Like there's so many different things that we can have a conversation about, but we don't choose to do that. I had a friend tell me, like, you know what, when we were growing up, if people would have talked to us about credit, and I was like, wait a minute, y'all family didn't talk to y'all about credit? Most families don't talk about credit because they don't have credit. And most families, these color families, they just put bills in other people's names anyways. Next thing you know, you 21 with a $16,000 We Energies bill. How? And I just turned old enough to get my own apartment to, yeah, that's how they did us back in the days. And then they ask you, do you want to file a claim? And you looking at your mama like, mm-hmm. Remember that time you whooped me? I'm just saying, we need to talk. I'm gonna say, I'm gonna say this is just my opinion. It's my opinion. You don't have to write it as law. If you are a parent and you're getting ready to chastise, discipline, whatever your child, it is important for you to tell your child what you are disciplining them for. Cause I mean, we live in a society. It could be anything. It could be on Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram. It could be because you had a bad day at work and you just thought of something they did 2 months ago and was like, "I'm about to whip you." Like it's important for you to express that. Now I know, I'm the parent. I don't have to say any. I don't have to do all of that. But I said earlier, like, um, it's the whole I'm the parent thing. Like if you actually think about your parenthood, your parentship, or whatever you want to call it, being a parent. Um why why how do you put together your parenting plan? Like is it like, okay, your father left me so now it's just me, or your mother left you so now it's just you and me and this is how we going to make it work? Or are you one of those parents where it's like, yo, daddy, your mom, the people ain't sugar honey iced tea? Or is it like you really want your child to excel and succeed at whatever they want to do in life? Or are you one of those parents that's like, you know what, I want to play basketball, football, volleyball, be a cheerleader, grow up to be a police officer, a nurse, or a doctor. So my child is going to do that. Or are you one of those parents that's just like, you know what, whatever you want to do, we're going to support you. You want to play piano today and don't want to play it tomorrow? Okay, we're going to do that. You want to play football? Okay, we're going to do that. Like, what kind of parent are you? Like, that's something I think parents, like, I don't have kids, so I think about what kind of auntie am I? I always want to be the auntie where people, where my niece and nephew can call me and be like, "Hey, auntie, what you doing? You want to go to the strip club?" Not really, because I don't go to the strip club. Or you want to go, to the gun range? You want to go hike a mountain? You want to do something? I want my niece and nephews to be able to call me with anything they do, just like my brothers. I don't know. But I want them to be able to call me with anything. And in that, I want them to feel safe when they talk to me. I want them to feel like they know I'm going to do something. If there is a problem, if they are having a problem, they know I can call my auntie and she definitely gonna make this happen. I'm gonna tell y'all, we would go to the restaurants, right? And you know, you probably seen this happen a time or two. You go to the restaurant, you order your food, you tell them, and they ask you, do you want cheese on your eggs? Yes, I want cheddar cheese. Do you want them scrambled? What's scrambled cheese? Turkey bacon, right? You tell them the whole list. They're running down. You have a whole open dialogue, right? That's where comprehension come into it, right? You tell them exactly what you want. They go put the order in and come back. You got sunny side up eggs with cheese. You got pork bacon. Now, the people I be with would just be like, I'm just eat it because, I'm hungry. No, no. We just had a whole conversation. You asked me what kind of eggs. You even verified it's scrambled with cheddar cheese, right? Yes, scrambled with cheddar cheese. We did all of that. I'm gonna need you to go change this. The first thing people say is they gonna spit in the food. Now, why would somebody do that? Why would you feel like because you messed up my order, you want to spit in the food? But then that goes to it's bigger. It's all about communication. That's when their employers and people should be making sure that they are trained in how to properly take orders. Maybe the cook needs to be told, like, you need to yell a little louder. She wants scrambled eggs with cheddar cheese. They probably just heard you say son. I don't know how they got son and scrambled, but hey, it be happening. So I'd be like, I'm one of them people that like, no, if I'm especially if money is attached to it, if I'm paying for a service and you say that you can do this, I expect like so when artists, I work with artists, right? Sidebar. If you or somebody you know is doing music, excuse me, you definitely want to attend the music business seminar. I'm hosting a music business seminar on, hold on, I'm gonna drop it in. I'm gonna drop it in here so you guys can click it. I'm hosting a music business seminar on August the 14th, and I am sharing with music artists, producers, parents, anyone that wants to know. I me personally feel like music artists do not understand where their money comes from. So say it like this, and then I'm gonna get back to my story. If you are an artist, if you are putting in $400, right? Like you're a working person, you got 9 to 5, 6 to 2, whatever hours you work. There's no way you're going to go and put in 40 hours for that job. Music is a job. You're not going to go put in 40 hours for that job and say, hey, I just want to come and show you I was a hard worker and that I'm put in 40 hours and you will see how good I do. And then I want you to pay me on the next one. No, we're not going to do that. So, me, when I talk to artists, I show them how the first song that they release, they can start getting money from that. So, if you are an artist or someone you know is an artist, um, it is important for you to attend this music business seminar. Hold on, I'm getting it. I'm gonna go back to what I was saying. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. I probably should have had this up earlier, but it's okay. Because I mean, y'all here. We're here to talk about conversation. Mm, I know that maybe not. Um, hold on, I'm sorry. Music. Okay, here we go. Okay. Yes, it's important for you to talk, communicate feelings, communicate thoughts. If you are a parent, it is important for you to it is important for you to communicate with your child. I can't spell. Um, there you go. You guys should be able to click that. It is important for you to talk to your children. Not just talk about like their parent or their other parent or their grandparents or how they won't ever be, it's important for you to like sow into your children. Sow positive things into your children, like not call them dumb or stupid, but like positive things. Like positive things. Like I started to think, like I'm a real like to think. But I was thinking about all of the children or the kids, children's teenagers over the last year. And like we were all talking about adults and like their jobs and like um being essential workers, but like who was talking to the kids? Like how do you like virtual school? Are you a fan of virtual school? How many kids like stop going to school because they didn't like being on the computer? Maybe they need that in-person hands-on, let me help you with your homework type stuff. Maybe that's what they need. And maybe you as a parent was not able to give them that special extra time that they need. Um, like I wondered that, like who's talking to the kids? Like who's seeing how kids are making it through this pandemic? Like if you were a parent, like have you asked your child like how are they making it through? Or are you just like, oh yeah, they making it through because they playing that video game? Sometimes um video games is a way of escape. There are people that just play video games just to play them, but sometimes video games are a way of escape. Sometimes paintings, like there's so many different ways you can escape your reality. Um, just because it's too much for you. Have you like taken the time like I was saying, I did a video on my Facebook when I first found out that my ex-wife was cheating on me with her ex-girlfriend. That was the first time I said that and didn't feel, you know, anything. But when I first like started making videos and started like I said to my friend the other day, I said, I don't think I grieve well. Like I don't think I really know how to properly grieve. I don't even know if there's a proper way to grieve, but I don't even know how to grieve because I literally think I was in shock when it all happened because I was like in my mind, this is where I'm saying like you got to let it go because it has nothing to do with you. So in my mind, I was trying to figure out because people always be like red flags, you ain't see no signs or nothing. I was just like, hmm, no, no, not at all. We just was, and then I just got stuck there. And then while I was stuck there, I was just like, you know what? No, I gotta let this go. I need to go on the inside of me and figure out what it is about me that is like causing me to be stuck here. So that's when I went on my journey of healing and self discovery. Uh, Truthfully, I had already been on that since I was like 33, but it intensified when this happened because I'm like, I'm 40 years old. Who about to be still out here playing reindeer games? Not me. I don't even like the cold like that. I live in Wisconsin. I don't even like the cold like that, but I'm not about to be out here playing reindeer games. So I started to go inside of myself. That's when I was like, you know what? Let me talk to my parents because for me, this is just me. It all started with them. Shell, you blaming your parents. I'm not blaming them. I'm just stating the facts. It started with them. It's the rejection started with them. The need to be loved started with them. Um a lot of things started with them. Not just the bad things, the good things started with them too. Like the ability to communicate, basketball, entrepreneurship, all of these things started with them. It started with them in the household. My mother is a worker. Like if you know her, I wasn't gonna say something, but she probably watching, but I'm gonna say this. Hit me on any one of the social medias and I'm gonna tell you what I got to tell you in regards to my mother. Cause her birthday's coming up. So I hope you picking up what I put down. I can't say it because then she will know. But if she's anything like me, she probably already figured it out. Anyways, talking to my mother, talking to my father, um, helped me understand more about me. Like, it helped me understand the strength that lies in me. Like, what we don't realize is that situations that we endure, like, I would have never thought, okay, being molested um brought me courage and showed me how to be bold and confident, but it did. And that's why when people ask me, like, well, if you could go back and change it, I wouldn't even want to think about that. I don't want to think about that. But I wouldn't change anything, because I wouldn't be the woman that I am today. I wouldn't be loving, filled with kindness, and being open and honest and sharing with you everything that I got. And I'm not sharing that with you to brag or boast or so you can take it and go do whatever, because you're going to go do whatever anyways. But I'm sharing that with you to let you know that you have common ground. The name of my channel is Chelle's Closet, because people put stuff in the closet to hide it, to hide it. Well, this is not one of those closets. This is a closet where you can come and feel comfortable and feel safe. Um, we've talked about everything from trauma, molestation to abusive parents, we domestic violence. We done talked about everything. We will continue to talk about everything on this channel, mainly because we're not having these conversations in our families. Our families are not like, hey, I know Uncle Pete molested you and I'm sorry that that happened to you. We would rather blame the person for that happening. No, Uncle Pete has a problem. Auntie Sally has a problem. They need help. You're probably, why are you talking about that? Because somebody is watching and they are dealing with that. I'm never, not ever, now nor ever in my life will I tell anybody to get over anything, because you don't. You move through it. You learn from where you were and you move. Wait. I want to hope that you learn, because some people don't learn. Some people don't learn. Some people don't even try to learn. Some people don't even care. They just go from situations to situations. And then I'm gonna say this, right? Let's talk about the families. Let's talk about families for a minute. Um, the thing I love about my mother, right? My mother sent me to predominantly white schools for as long as I can remember. And you're probably like, you love your mother because she sent you predominantly white schools? I can't even say the word right, but I love my mother because she saw where we lived. She saw the environment in which we were being raised, and she gave me a leg up. You probably like, that's not a leg up. Yes, definitely it is. All of the entrepreneur, like, it fostered in me thinking outside of what I am being presented with. Like, um I know how to look beyond. Like, you could give me a lemon, right? Like, people be like, oh, life gives you lemons and you make lemonade. That's all people say. Lemonade. There's lemon cough drops, there's muffins, there's cookies, there's lemon antiseptic, there's lemon anything. Like, I'm gonna turn it into a multi-million dollar company. Like, right now, I'm working my business. I'm working to ensure, hello Pixel Girl, I'm working to ensure that music artists understand. Like, let me say this right. If you're a music artist, right? And if you worked hard, say you've been working since you was like 18, you put 10 years into your music career, right? 10 years. I'm a record label, right? You come to me and I'd be like, I want to sign you for $100,000. 10 years, $100,000. You like, oh yeah. Now, especially if you're a person of color, not saying that all people of color have never seen this amount of money, but if you're a person of color, you like $100,000. This, I'm only saying that because that's usually who they're targeting. I've said it that many times so that you can pick up what I'm putting down. So you like, yeah, I'm gonna sign it. I'm gonna get $100,000 and buy my mama a house. I'm gonna do all of this. I'm gonna do blah blah blah. You're not thinking I worked 10 years for this. So you know when all them Ponzi schemes and all them pyramid, all them different schemes, and people put their retirement plans, them people was upset. Somebody had to be called to order because I done put my retirement and we don't got no more money. Now I gotta go, So you done signed this contract, right? You got your $100,000. You thinking like, yeah, I'm gonna go on tour. I'm gonna make some money. I'm gonna do all this, but you forgot to read the piece of paper. The piece of paper that said we officially own everything that is you, that represents you, that comes from you. We own that because we gave you that $100,000. And you know that $100,000 that we gave you? Oh yeah, we gonna need that back plus interest. So now you already starting out the gate $100,000 in the hole. And here I am trying to tell music artists the first time that one, your song is played, even if it's on Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, TikTok, any one of these social medias, you can get paid. If you in the studio and you doing like this on any one of the social medias, you can get paid. Anywhere, anytime your music is heard, you could get paid. I'm telling artists that. So I figure if I educate artists on that and they see like they have the power, you have the leverage. So if I say I want to give you $100,000 for your 10 years of experience, and then you read the contract in which I have given you, but most people don't read because reading is fundamental. We too busy. What am I going to read that for? Anyways, but you read that contract and I want your publishing, your trademark, your copyright, everything that is you, your brand. You'll have the understanding because you work with me. You attended the Blueprint Music Administration Seminar. Shameless plug. You will understand that you have the opportunity. You now have leverage because you have the knowledge to leverage the situation. That's something that we we should definitely be talking about in our families. Like I don't know if you guys seen it. The one young man, I don't know if he played football, basketball, I don't know what sport he played, but he was choosing a college. And I think his mother wanted him to go to Arkansas, but he chose A&T, or it was the other way around. And she got up a national press conference. The happiest moment in his life. Happiest moment in his life. And he's there getting ready to pick. He got all the caps in front of him, getting ready to pick. And he picked the school that he wanted to go to. His mother got up and walked away. Happiest moment in your son's life, and you decide to, even if that wasn't where you wanted them to go. I mean, that's a discussion that you have before or after he's not on national TV. So now you have literally like one of the happiest moments. He's choosing. He's got a full ride to some school. I don't know, whatever sport he play. And you tarnish that. That's where I said in the beginning, it's like parents. What kind of parent are you? Are you a child who got beat when they were growing up and was like, I'm not gonna beat my kids, so your kids are out here wilding out, or maybe they're not wilding out. Maybe they just wreaking havoc on your pockets or in your house. Like, what kind of parent are you? I'm gonna ask you if you are one of those children that grew up being in an abusive household, like what kind of human being are you? Like, are you just out here being ruthless? Like, if you're dating, like, are you just dating multiple women? Are you getting multiple women pregnant? Or women, are you just dating multiple men, having them buy you cars? Like, if we actually start talking about the things that happened to us in our previous lives, like, even if you are in a relationship right now, right? If you haven't had the conversation with your current boo that you are with about your ex, not in a sense like there's this thing where people was like, you know what, I don't have a problem with my current boo being friends with their ex. Um Here's where I'm a little indifferent with that. I don't me personally, I don't have a problem with I didn't have a problem with my ex-wife being I didn't really care. I probably should have, but I really didn't care because that wasn't me because I know what I bring to the table. That was me being cocky and a little arrogant right there. But no, I'm just saying I know what I bring to the table. So I'm not worried about anybody outside of that. It's just me, you, it's just us. But what happens is, right? Um because we don't talk about things, And because you feel like this situation was better than the current situation is, and there was no resolve, there was no closure, there was no any of that, there's a little in the back of your mind like maybe this would have worked if I would have did this, or maybe if this would have worked if I would have said this. When in reality, people make decisions because they make those decisions. You are in a relationship, but you cheating on your relationship, and people will be like, "Oh, he not happy, she not happy," but the reality of it is, people, you're watching me. Happiness starts right here. That's where if we talk to one another a little bit more, we will understand that happiness start right here. I can't look for happiness in YouTube. I can't look for happiness in Twitch. I can't look for happiness in that because the internet could shut down today. And that means I will never be happy. I'm happy on the inside of me. I have restored my relationship with my parents. I have wonderful nieces and nephews that love me. My brothers love me. I'm surrounded by love. I'm sick in the house. If you can't tell while I'm talking, I am not afraid. I am nervous. And I'm telling you this because I told you I was going to tell y'all everything. I'm not holding nothing back for y'all. I'm telling you this because we are in a global pandemic. There is another seven strand, a seven. Did y'all know we are on seven strands? Like seven. I was shocked when I found out there was four. There is now seven, and one has mutated. So there's a mutant strand out here. Anyways, so I'm a little nervous because I wasn't. And then I was like, I was eating, doing fruits and vegetables, and then I started eating, and then I felt sluggish. So then, I don't know what it is. I just know I'm staying hydrated. I haven't been outside. I just been in here, disinfecting, showering, making sure my spaces, all of that stuff is clean. That's where I'm at. My mother, my brothers, everybody is calling. I'm like, we could FaceTime. I don't want you to come over because what I understand is that this new strand, well, before, we're gonna talk about this for a moment. The before one, it only affected you only affected two people. The new one, which is the mutant Delta 7, they say you can affect six people. And I was thinking, like, you know what? The Bucks are in the championships. Heck, go Bucks. And then there's like all these people at the deer districts and people not wearing their masks and things. And I was like, oh, I really want to go get some crab legs. And I was like, I'm not going outside because I was thinking about myself first. It's like, I don't want to go outside. And I started thinking about everybody else. Like, that is so selfish, especially if you know that you are sick and then you go outside of your house knowing that you are sick. Now I get it. I get it. You probably desperately need to go out. But Uber Eats, Postmates, all of these different delivery services out there, you don't have to go outside of your house. You could have them drop Instacart. Is it Instacart? Drop ship, whatever it is. These people can drop it outside your door. You could disinfect it, bring it in your house, do all of that. We don't have to go outside thanks to what happened in 2020. So for me, I'm okay. I'm sitting here, I'm talking to y'all. I'm not coughing and breathing on anybody. I'm up in here. Okay. My family has been checking on me. I've been good. I haven't had a fever or anything. It's just the mucus, the congestion for me. It's just that. It's that. But I appreciate the opportunity of being able to talk to my family about what's going on with me. Like, I wouldn't want to feel like I'm a burden to someone. Like, those are things that people say. You're never going to be a burden. Whoever said that to you, whoever made you feel like that, you will never be a burden to someone. Number one, because most people can't lift you up anyways. Number two, you will never be a burden to anyone. That's another thing that we need to start talking about. People feeling like they're a burden. Like when we were going through this pandemic, people were going without food because they didn't want to tell people that they didn't have food. No, as a matter of fact, since we were here, hold on, let me get another little sip. Since we were here, and I just told y'all that there is a number seven strand. Um, In case y'all haven't been watching the news or paying attention, there is a likelihood that we could be shut down again. I know you're probably like, hey, no, they got all these stimulus money, they doing all this stuff. Google Delta 7. You will see how rapidly it is spreading. Um, you will see the numbers. You will see it. I want to encourage you. I don't know if you use your supplies from 2020. I didn't. I actually was packing more stuff up in there. I need to get water. Hi, if any one of my family members is watching it, you can drop the water. You can go to Woodman's. They have 2 for 6 35 cases. Yeah, you could give me drop it off. But beans and rice and get you some canned goods and get you some goods. Beans, rice, matches, candles, batteries, put money aside. Y'all remember the change shortage? Where is the change going? If we can't go outside, how is there a change shortage? Maybe people were storing in their house. I know I gotta. Hey, listen, you gotta make sure you be good because but they can be like, we're shutting the government down again, and then it'll be like, oh, I didn't even get no tissue. Remember, like people was going, it was like no tissue, no water, no disinfectant, anything. And then it was like chicken shortages and all these different things. It's like, how is that possible? But you want to be prepared. Be prepared. Lion King. You want to be prepared for things like that. And then think about this. If we do go back in, right? Are you going to be spending the next pandemic with someone you really want to spend the pandemic with? I know it's not like a vacation or anything, but the reality of it is like you really can't go anywhere. So you really gonna have to get to know them. So you probably should communicate with them right now how you are feeling and what you're thinking. So that'll make the time that you are in there together more smoothly. Like now it's like, oh, you can just get up and go outside or go to the bar or wherever you go play basketball. You could do all of that. But when you have to come in and you have to constantly see that person every day, all day, you already know. If you're a parent, you probably be looking at your kids like, Lord Jesus, when is we starting back school? I mean, hey, parents, kids is probably like, man, I wish my mother would. I just want us to talk more. That's all. I said, I wanted to talk about conflict resolution too. Like you probably know that your baby daddy, baby mama, your mama, your daddy, sister, cousin, auntie, somebody stole from you, and you like, oh well, it wasn't really that bad. No, no, they stole from you. A part of conflict resolution is being able to stand in your truth and whatever happens, just stand there. I'd be on live talking about all kinds of stuff. If you got an Uncle Peter or Auntie Sally, I'm sorry because I didn't even know that. I just put that out there. I just put that out the air. But you probably thinking right now, like, you know what? I'm definitely gonna say something. You should. Of course, people are gonna be like, "Why would you wait until now?" That's what we do. All it's like a defense response. That's what I'm gonna call it. I'm not a therapist or anything like that, but I'm gonna call it a defense response. That's what people do. Yep, like when they find out their favorite celebrity was beating on somebody or they was doing something that's like, I didn't even know they didn't look like they was on drugs. They didn't look like they. Why would they be her? Why would he do? It be those questions for me. Like why are we not talking about the fact that the child said that they were molested? We are now talking about when did they tell us that they was molested, or why would they choose you, or when did this happen? Because I was always with you, and you wasn't always with your child. You never was out of my sight. Your child was going over to their grandmama house, their uncle house, or their auntie house, or hell, they was even in your house. And you were inviting men and women in, and then things were happening to them. Did y'all see the news story about the lady? I think it's over in England, and she said her daughter. She went to have a conversation with her daughter. This is hey, listen. She went to have a conversation with her daughter, and her daughter told her that for years her husband had been touching her and her son. Now, the woman's son had passed away. He took his own life. She said or as I read it in the news article, it says she knew or he was troubled. He's been troubled from a young child, um, and she couldn't figure it out. But when the sister said that, it made so much sense. I guess she put one and two together and was like, "Oh, okay." So this lady went home. I am not telling you to do this. I'm not. I'm just telling you about the news article that I read about the woman who took matters in her own hand. So she went home. And Al Green, if you know Al Green, know what happened to Al Green with the hot water and sugar? Yep, that's what she did to him. Yep, that's what she did to him. Her son took his own life because he could not deal with the situations that was going on. And I know you're probably looking at this like, well, he should have been able. No. I am 41 years old and I'm going to tell you this. I don't care if you take it and repeat it and make a video. I don't care because somebody needs to hear this. You will never get over it. You will never go around it. You can only go through it. You go through it, you learn, you understand, you accept, you acknowledge, and from there you are able to determine if you are going to live your life in that place of fear, that place of insecurity, if you're going to live your life there or if you're going to stand and walk in your power of you have overcome that. You have made it through that. It didn't tear you down. It was something that should have never happened to you, but it didn't destroy you. And we say, you know what? Check on a person that be crying out for help. I want to encourage you to check on your strong people because I consider myself strong. And when I all of this happened with my ex-wife, I literally was like, I am not okay. But it takes a special kind of person to be like, I am not okay. I was not okay. I am slowly getting to okay, but I was not okay. I knew I wasn't okay. I knew I wasn't. I knew I wasn't, and I appreciate you all for being here to share in the love and the support and the positivity and the love and the support that I put out. You guys gave it back to me, and I appreciate you for that. Because I feel like everybody needs to have a place where they feel safe. I feel safe in these four walls. I feel safe in my family. I feel safe here on YouTube, talking to y'all, YouTube, Twitch. I feel safe talking to you. I don't really care if you take what I say and go put it on the wings of the morning because it happened to me. It did. I am here. I'm telling you about it because it happened to me. I said I was going to do YouTube and I was going to start talking more on Twitch because I would usually just reserve this for YouTube, but I'm going to start talking more on Twitch because Twitch um Twitch has been good to me. Twitch has been good to me. It helped me actually get more into producing or getting back into instruments and producing and singing and all of that. And then combining all of this is helping me be more comfortable talking in front of the camera. So, like I said, on August the 14th, I'm doing a music business seminar. This is all new for me, but guess what? I'm doing it because I am moving through it. I'm moving through it. I'm not one to be like, okay, I could be like I was molested, so I don't feel like the world owes me something. I don't. I am grateful to even be here. I don't know if I told you guys this, but I tell the people around me I didn't see past 14, June 26, 1994. I think that was when I turned 14. Whenever I turned 14, I didn't see a day past that. Nope, not at all. So to be 41, flip that around, what age is that? Yeah, to be 41 and have lived through molestation, rape, nervous breakdown, stroke, death a couple of times, and still be here to talk to you. I said, if I have the opportunity, I am going to talk about things that I wish people would have talked about me with. I know that was a huge thing to take on, but when I look back at my life from zero until now, my life had already prepared me for this moment. So I'm good. I'm good with talking about issues. I'm good with talking about religion. I'm good with talking about homosexuality in the church. I'm good with talking about pedophilia in the church. I'm good with talking about everything. I'm good with talking about people who've been covering up for people for decades. I'm good. We could talk about it. You want to talk about it? We could talk about it. I've never been the one to shy away from conflict. I'm not creating it, but if it is brought to me, this is definitely what I said, with all this that happened. If you're wondering about what I'm talking about, I am 2 months divorced. 2 months divorce. Let me talk about that for a minute. It's not when I thought about it, I was really sad. Like, man, I just got divorced from the love of my life. Like, this is my soulmate. Like, I just knew like we were going to be together forever, but it didn't happen. We got a divorce, and so when the divorce actually happened, I was like, oh my god, I am so sad. This is going to be so heartbreaking. How am I going to live? How am I going to? We were so all of these different things, and then as I began to, you know clean out the things from here and let go and just completely just be okay with me, every part of me just be okay with me, it got a little less sad. I started to be more happy. I started to be more at peace and calm. And I was like, I just said it was 2 months. You see that every time I don't do it, it just involuntarily happens. 2 months. Only been 2 months. I'm not saying like I do. I said it was my soulmate. It was my soulmate. I thought, it was the rest of our life. We had plans. But sometimes plans don't work out. And during this whole process, the thing that I have come to realize is that for me, this situation taught me the power in letting go. Yes, there is power in letting go. I struggled, past tense, with letting go. I told you I was molested when I was young, but I carried that with me. I carried it because no one said like, "Hey, you should let it down. It's not yours to carry." Well, when I was in therapy, they said that, but everyone else is like, "Well, girl, it happened to me and look at me," or, "Hey, that's just it's like a rite of passage." What? No, no child, no adult, nobody should know. No. 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 I don't want to have the same story. I don't want to have the same story as my cousin, or I don't want my nieces and nephews to have the same story as me. No. Especially if me understanding, like, no. You okay with your nieces and nephews or your sisters and brothers having the same? You 50 and your younger brother or sister is 45 and 35, and you're okay with y'all having the same. We all been touched by the same person. No, I don't want that. I don't want the next generation to be like, oh, Uncle Pete, I went by Auntie Sally house and Uncle Pete was touching me. I don't want that for the next generation. I don't want that. I don't want them to think that it's okay. I don't want them to be afraid to tell you that somebody is doing. I want them like I think about um when I got ready, I was going to therapy and I was talking to my uncle and I was just thinking like as a child, so you probably thought this too, was like the person threaten you and tell you, "Oh, we're gonna do this and we're gonna do that," and if you tell anybody, they won't believe you because of this, and so they do a number on you. They do a number on you, and so then you know what? I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna tell them. But then you have this like, I don't want to tell my mom because my mom is crazy, or I don't want to tell my daddy because I know they're gonna do something, and then that's gonna get them in trouble. But listen, tell them. Tell them, you could tell me, tell the police, tell the school, tell somebody. Tell them. Don't hold that in. Don't hold it in. Don't sweep it under the rug. Don't cover it up. Tell them. A lot of times they buy you gifts. A lot of times they give you things. Tell them. They are only doing that so you don't tell on them. That's all they're doing it for. They want you to keep it a secret. They don't want you to share. They don't want the business to get out there. And then if you are an adult, tell. I know people be like, "Oh, that's snitching." No, tell. At the end of the day, them people knew exactly what they was doing. So now you have to deal with the fact that I'm an adult and I'm telling what happened to me. And then all your people gonna be like, "Well, why she didn't say nothing years ago?" I did, and you knew stuff was happening, and you still didn't do nothing. And then you didn't really do nothing until it happened to your family or your kids. Like it shouldn't happen. It should not have to happen to us in order for us to do something about it. Do something about it. Do something about it. I should make a song saying do something about it. I'm gonna write that down. Do something. That's what I'm gonna call it. Do something. Yeah, I'm gonna make a song. We all know somebody that is struggling. We all know somebody you could look at them and be like, man, something happened to them. Then we start hearing, like, we listen to them. We listen to them and be like, man, my mama used to beat me, or my mama used to starve us, or, my mama used to let people come in and do whatever. My mama sold me for drugs, or my mama, they wasn't around, so I had to go out in the streets and I joined a gang, or whatever your story is. You are not, you are better than that. You don't have to sell drugs, join a gang, be violent. You don't have to do all of that. You could be whatever. If you want to open up a bakery, you can do that. If you just want to sell slushies out of a little slushy cart walking down the street, you can do that. When I was paying attention, I was like, you know what? All these people like go their whole life talking about they gonna get in the NBA. Do you know this like 54, 64? I don't even how it's not a large number of people that go to the NBA. I remember when I was playing basketball, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go to the WNBA, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go overseas and I'm gonna play for Italy. Whew! I had high hopes, high hopes, and high dreams. My favorite WNBA player, Kim Perot. God bless the dead. She's no longer here. Kim Perot, Cynthia Cooper, Don Saley. Mm, mm, mm. Favorite basketball players ever. Teresa Weatherspoon. I mean, I could go on and on. Like I was real into it. Like real into it. Cheryl Swoops, Lisa Leslie, like real into Tina Thompson, like real into it. So that's why, like, when I talk to people and I was like, what are your dreams? Like, what did you want to be when you grew up? A lot of people didn't have um their home life wasn't where it led to them talking about what they want to be when they were growing up because they were so focused on I have to survive here, like I have to survive to tomorrow. I don't know what I'm going to eat tonight, let alone tomorrow, so I can't even think about what I want to be when I grow up. Is those kind of situations for me, like we need to talk about. I'm getting emotional right now because I feel like there's so many different situations, whether you come from an abusive home or whether you come from a religious home or whether you come from just abusive religious home, like it's so much we need to talk about. It's so many different conversations, like even if you are an adult and it's like, okay, this person abused you when you little and now you see them and you older and you feel like you have to talk to them because of respect, or you feel like talk to them because you don't want it to be weird. No, it should be weird. What happened to you should not have happened. They should know how you made them how they made you feel. They should know that. Why should they know that? Because you know it. You've lived with it for how long? Have you ever check this out, right? Have you ever looked at somebody that did some really fucked up shit to you and looked at them and be like, damn, why does they look like they just floating on clouds? I'm over here struggling, right? Then I said to myself, here we go again. Happiness starts right here. I'm walking around carrying this weight a weight I should have never had to carry, and you ain't even thought about it because you on to your next one, or you. I hope you ain't on to your next one, but you doing what you do. You are doing what you do. For me, it's like, who's going to stand up and be like, you know what, Uncle Pete, you were dead wrong. Um, you definitely need to correct apologize. And then that's what I was saying earlier. That's what I was saying about forgiveness. Because you will go out of your way to forgive someone, and if they feel like they have a smidge, you see how small it is? There ain't even no space in there. But if they feel like they have a smidge of using the thing against you, they will try that. You know how many people have tried to use, oh, you were molested. So that's not saying so like I was molested. That was like, and I told the world that I was molested. And you can't make me feel bad about that. Never let somebody make you feel bad about something you lived through. You lived through it. That's where we have to stand in our power. You lived through it. You were molested. You lived through it. You are a living testament that you can overcome, walk through, survive. Like, there's strength on the inside of you. That's strength. No, you did not ask that to I didn't ask for that. You didn't ask for that. We didn't ask for that. But that shows you how strong you are. No one's gonna tell you that strength because they're gonna be like, "Oh, well, you should have told somebody. You shoulda, coulda, woulda." But at the end of the day, you have to find the path that is best for you. And I'm just gonna say, as you are on your path, sex, drugs, money, none of that stuff is going to help. It's only going to mask it. Alcohol is only going to mask it. You ever paid attention to this, right? You'll be kicking it with somebody, and they be all cool. And then y'all start smoking and drinking, and then it's like they either want to fight or they want to cry and they want to tell you all their problems and what's going on. It's that. It doesn't it doesn't some people call it liquid courage, so some people it does help. But it's that. I wanted to talk about conversation, conversing, using your words because I feel like we are all currently surviving a global fucking pandemic. At any point in time in all of this, any point, our ticket can be punched. We can have a first class to wherever we're going after this life is over with. The last thing I want for you to do is to live a life full of guilt, hurt, and shame, and then check out of here with guilt, hurt, and shame. If you can't look at 2020 and be like, you know what? I suffered enough in my life. I suffered enough. I carried this secret around long enough. I tolerated things long enough. It's time for me to live for me and live. That's all I'm going to tell you to do. Live. It's 2021. It's July of 2021. 7 months. 7 months of 2021 is pretty much almost over. We are 5 months away from a new year. We got to make it through the seventh strand. Hmm. Are you really committed to living your life the same way you've been living all of your life? That's something that I ask myself every morning. When I said back in January I was going to put out nothing but love and positivity every morning. There was one morning I told you guys about it. If you didn't, if you're just tuning in, I'll tell you now. There was one morning I woke up on petty. You know, how people be like, I woke up and chose violence. No, I woke up on petty. I was going to be petty. Petty. You got to say it like that when you're going to be real. I was going to be petty. Petty. I'm not even gonna tell you how I was gonna be petty, but I was just gonna say this. I was going to be petty. I didn't even put my foot out the bed. I said to myself, no, you committed to love and positivity. I put my meditation music on. I put the cover over my head and I laid there and I didn't think about nothing. I just laid there. Not now nor ever am I going to be petty. Mm, petty. But I felt that. I felt it. It consumed me so because I just sometimes people just need to know where to get on and get off. And I was going to do it in a petty matter. But now, as a 41-year-old grown woman, I know how to handle it by a conversation. And in that conversation, I'm not going to use anything petty. I'm going to be an adult and use my words because I use my words. Yeah, so when the timing is right, the conversation will happen and it'll be what it is. It will be what it is. Do you know? Okay, there's power in letting go, there's power in conversing, there is power in this. It is what it is. Maybe your relationship with your parents isn't what you thought it would be. Maybe you've tried to talk to them multiple times. Maybe your mother was like, well, I was a good mother. Maybe your father was like, I couldn't be a good father because of your mother. Maybe they just will never understand. Maybe they just set in their ways. That's where I talk to you about forgiveness. That's where I was like, forgiveness. You can forgive, forgive, forgive. But if those people are set in their ways, they're gonna keep on doing. They're gonna keep on being disrespectful. They're gonna keep on doing all of that. They're gonna keep on being petty, messy, all of that. That's where you have to be like, okay, I let that go. I'm living for me now. And when I'm living for me, I'm setting boundaries. Boundaries. Your girl got a lot of boundaries, I'm telling y'all. Mm, mm, boundaries. That was a bless. That's a word that I think everybody should know and understand boundaries. You have to set boundaries with your parents, your sisters, your brothers, grandmas, aunties, uncles, people on Facebook, people on TikTok, Twitch. You have to set boundaries. There's nothing where people probably try to make you think it's a bad word. No, it's not a bad word. It's a good word. Boundaries. If you don't take anything that I say tonight, boundaries are important. Boundaries, conversation, comprehension, using your words are important. You ever notice you be sitting silent, you won't say nothing because you're like, you know what, it's just gonna blow over. It ain't really that serious, and then it gets to another level. Like it starts right here. It's right here. And then you just be quiet and sitting over there chilling, doing, you playing a video game, whatever you do. And then it's like, wait, what? And then it's like, oh, you know what? Now I got to say something because I wasn't going to say something. I probably should have said something like everything in you was like, you know what? You should definitely address this. But, you're not because you're like, give people the benefit of the doubt. We got to stop giving the benefit of the doubt. We got to hold people accountable for the actions that they display. Period. If you out here showing out, you out here, cheating, cutting people out, stealing, whatever you doing, and somebody call you out on it, don't try to blame it on whatever. Like we all know people that try to use their situations as a crutch. No, you survived a global fucking pandemic. Get off the crutches, stand on your own 2 feet, and set boundaries. Set boundaries, tell people what you need to tell them, and move in life. Oh, I'm gonna start that business in 2 years when I get some more money. I know you have got. I know everybody has gotten at least one of the 55 million stimulus checks, PPP loan, ABC child tax credit. You done got some kind of money, some kind hustle, in home daycare, whatever you do, you got some kind of money. Right? If you are not at this present time saying, you know what, I need to set myself up because 2021 is going so fast. We have 5 months into 2022. If I ain't started my business, don't put it off. If you're still putting things off for tomorrow, you survived a global fucking pandemic. You are currently living through a global fucking pandemic. There is a number seven strand, which is a mutant strand, which can affect more people. You are living right now today. You can be healthy. I was good. I didn't have no congestion or nothing. And then the next day I woke up when my niece and nephew went home. I woke up like, wait a minute, hold on. I wasn't congested when I was juicing. That's the first. See, you see how I did that? I wasn't congested when I was juicing. And then I was like, my niece and nephew came over. They was sick. They was coughing. And I was like, okay, maybe it was them. And I was like, mm, did I go anywhere else? I don't think I went anywhere else. Maybe, but hey, if you still going out, be cautious. I'm not telling you to wear your mask or anything like that. I'm not one of those people. I would prefer that you wear your mask, not just to protect other people, but also to protect yourself. Just be cautious. Get you some hand sanitizer. Wait, get you some hand sanitizer. Um, gloves, mask. Um, say the distance. Hello, I don't know how to say your name. Diagorian. I'm good. Um. Get you some toiletries, some water, put you some money aside, some dry food, some canned goods. Um, remember growing up they used to have a deep freezer. Get you a deep freezer, some candles, some batteries. I mean, get you be prepared. Like, we was caught off guard in 2020. We were caught everybody was caught off guard. Everybody was in the same spot. It was like, okay, we shutting down. What do you mean shutting down? Then it was like we can't find tissue. We can't find. We was everybody was scared. If you say you wasn't scared, I need some of your courage because I was scared. I was real life scared because I was scared. Like now I'm not scared. I'm just nervous. I mean that's because all of my affairs are in order. Thank you. I'm I spent a lot of time with my family during this pandemic. Not physically in the same spot, but like, video chat and sometimes in the same location. And just loving on each other. Like if you are not loving on the people around you, like if you don't think like in 2020, like where was I at on this day in 2020? Where were you? Because we weren't open yet. We weren't able to be out. There was essential workers that was able to be out. But like other than that, like you were in the house trying to figure out what you were gonna do. Like people wanted to see their grandparents, people wanted to see their mama and daddies, like the people that was living in nursing homes. Like you wanted to spend time with your people. If at any time since January of 2020 up until now you haven't reached out to those people, you haven't like haven't done anything, you are wasting time. I'm gonna keep saying people are wasting time because they are. You're wasting time. When you say, "What are my thoughts on the Black Lives Matter situation?" What are you asking? Because there's a lot of thought. I could have a lot of thoughts. Do I think Black Lives Matter? I'm black. Yes, I do think Black Lives Matter. Um, I'm sorry to hear that. Hard hat 123. Wow, wow, like wow. Um, do I think do I think Black Lives Matter is justified in being an organization? Do I think Black Lives Matter? Do I think people should know that Black Lives Matter? Because Black Lives Matter. I hope it's not like just because I'm black and I feel like Black lives should matter. No, because I think Black Lives Matter. I don't know. Sorry. I'm reading the comments and that just was popped up there. Black lives do matter. They should matter. That's all I got. They do and should, and it will always matter to me. Not just because I am black woman, but because Black lives matter. If we understood the importance of Black lives would start mattering to a lot of other people too. That changed real fast. That changed real fast. But if you have not reached out to your family members, if you're spending time and you're not telling the truth, if you hanging out with your Uncle Pete and you know Uncle Pete did some fucked up shit to you, you need to tell Uncle Pete what he did. Yep, tell him. Everybody else will probably be like, "Don't tell him." I'm gonna tell you to tell him. You don't need to walk around that with that anymore. Let it go. Uncle Pete knew what he did was wrong. He probably gave you the whole, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I never meant to touch you." With the one eye open, y'all see me? I got one eye open, like I never. Is they really falling for this, or is it working? It's the manipulation thing. A lot of families manipulate people. Like, he didn't mean to do it. What do you mean he or she didn't mean to do it? And I have to keep saying she because a lot of times we focus on the men and the molestation, but women are also molesting people too. But see, young men think like that's a, rite of passage, where it's like, hey, I'm only 13, but I'm smashing a 22-year-old. You, sir, were molested. You got introduced to sex at a very early age, and then you realize you have an insatiable appetite for. Yeah, that is kind of unhealthy. Again, I'm not a doctor or anything, but you were introduced to something at a young age. You probably shouldn't have got it. Um, you know, yeah, you probably shouldn't have been experiencing that. Like, you're 13, you probably should be playing video games and riding bicycles and basketball or whatever teenagers do nowadays. Definitely video games. Because my niece is cold. My niece is cold. She was trying to show me Fortnite. I just can't get into Fortnite. Now I'll play basketball and all of those, but I can't get into Fortnite. I tried. I'll play Grand Theft, but I can't. Um, And I can't even, let me take that back. I don't even play Grand Theft. I will watch other people play it. It's just too much violence for me. I think I have reached my violence level. Like, um, one of my good friends passed away to the pandemic. Um, and it was so heartbreaking because I knew that I couldn't attend their funeral, mainly because my I reached my max. Like, I've been going to funerals, I wanna say since I was, like, 8, like, funerals, like, regular funerals. Like, I would go to funerals like you would probably go to the movies or skating or to church, or I reached my max. And then we was in a global pandemic too. And so I was just like, "You know what? I don't wanna lose anybody. I don't wanna lose anybody I say I love. I don't want them to lose me." That's why I'm like, if I can call, my niece calls me, FaceTimes me every day. Like, they call, like everyone calls. If I could talk to them and hear their voice, I know they okay. I'm okay. We be good. Like, I maybe it's just me and I'm just like that over there. 2020 was a lot for me. Now I was killing it professionally, but personally, I was happy. And then my happiness turned to complete sadness because I was in a situation was just like, what happened? And then let me tell you this. Do you know that I haven't spoken outside of the 4 conversations we had in regards to our divorce to my ex-wife, or haven't seen her, and I believe we still live in the same state? Still haven't seen her. Haven't talked to her, nothing. I think for me in the beginning, that's what it was. It was like, how do you spend 6 years? Actually, it was more than 6, but I'm just gonna say, how do you spend a numerous amount of years waking up to the same person every day, and then you you're ghosted, like you never see them. Like, I was sitting for a minute, like, wait a minute, I know this happened. Like, I'm not tripping. There's videos on the YouTube, but it was just like, How do you just disappear? How do you literally just disappear? And then, like I said, when I understood it was bigger than me, it's not about me, and I let it go. I let it go, and I just been happy, at peace, learning and growing. I discovered so much about myself. I discovered, like, like, if you feel like maybe you feel like you could climb Mount Everest. You probably never even been there, but you feel like, hey, if given the opportunity, I could do it. And then someone comes along and be like, why would you think you could climb Mount Everest? You never been there. You don't even know what it's like you don't know the temperatures. You never even been in the snow. They give you all these different things. And now you in your head, like, maybe I can't really do it. Or maybe I was just a fool for thinking that I could. No, you can do it. You could do it if you want to. They got simulated Mount Everest. So you can climb Mount Everest in a simulator. Like, I want to go skydiving. I literally want to jump out of the plane and do that. But what I'm going to do first is I'm going to go um indoor skydiving. And then, I'll see how it is. I know it's not like the real thing, but hey. Sorry. Hey, it'll get the job done. No, I'm just playing. No, but I would do it just to, see, because yeah, I definitely want to try it. I kind of feel like I'm going to do it in the next year. I mean, I have to see with all of the, pandemic stuff, but I definitely want to go skydiving. I definitely want to do that. I feel like that's something that I should do. Like, I just should do. I don't know why. I just feel like I should do it. I always wanted to do it, and I let people talk me out of it because they was like, you. And I was like, but granted, they were talking me out of it when I was like in a transition from the right side of my body being paralyzed and the other side working normally. So they were right in that. Do you see? I had people that was there. It was like, no, you probably shouldn't. That's not a good idea because you can only properly move one side of your body. But I was like, it would be dope. I'll be the first half paralyzed person to skydive. I probably wasn't going to be, but anyways, yeah. If you are not living your best life right now, you are wasting time. You can't say that I'm wasting time. Yes, you are. And you know that you are wasting time. If you look at the person that you with, if you look at your kids and be like, you know what, I saw, like most parents, I'm going to tell you this. I know if you are a parent, I know you have said this to yourself. I want better for my kids. I don't want my kids to have to suffer. I don't want my kids to have to go through the same thing I went through. I know you did. I don't even have to look at the camera. I'm looking at the camera though, but I don't even have to look at the camera to know that you said that to yourself. I know that you said that your kids would never go hungry. Your kids would never be up without a place. I know you said that because that's what parents say. That's what parents do. I'm not even a parent, but I've said that multiple times. If my nieces and nephews ever needed a place to stay, they can always come here. They all know where I live. They all literally down to little Bobo. She's only one. She knows where I live. She probably can't give you the exact address, but if you drive to my house, you drive past my house, they gonna automatically say TT house. Guarantee you. Don't believe me? Ask any one of my siblings. Every one of their kids know. Any adult that has ever been to my house know where my house is. I said in a conversation with someone earlier, I was like, I always made my house a safe space. Like, it was like a safe space for gays, a safe space for religious. It was just a safe space. If you want to come here, you want to talk, we talk about everything. We don't I'm gonna talk about you when we leave. No, it's we talking, we this is a safe space. So I wanted to dedicate my channels to being safe space. You have a conversation, you have a topic you want to talk about, um homelessness, anything you want to talk about. You can drop it on my TikTok, my Twitch, my Instagram, anywhere. YouTube, you could drop it here, you could drop it anywhere. I'm down to talk about anything and everything. And if there's something that you want to talk about that I don't have experience in, I will most definitely go do the research or find somebody that can join us for this conversation. Because that's what I'm about. I'm about being a help. I'm about being positive, and I'm about sharing love. Because one thing that I realized, Let's talk about you and me. That's hilarious. No, but one thing that I realize is that we don't talk, and people bottle things up on the inside, and then we're walking around with it, and then when we get on our deathbed we want to confess everything. No, don't wait till your deathbed to confess everything. Confess it now. Let it go. You can move on. You can live. You can truly live. You can walk in your truth and live. So what? People not gonna like what you do. They not gonna like the way you wear. You think people like the way I wear my hair? I really don't care. But let me tell you this, right? I These are locks, right? Hello, how are you? These are locks. Now, the grade of hair that I have, the locks aren't really locking. They look cute. They're not really locking because of the curl texture of my hair. So I don't know how long I'm going to be able to keep these up because they unravel all the time. Like I'll get them twisted and then they unravel. Or my hair grows because I'm working out and I'm sweating a lot, so my hair is growing expeditiously. Um, hello. I'm gonna say bonjour. I don't know. I'm gonna get back into my foreign language. But hello from Wisconsin, from the states in Wisconsin. Um, But yeah, people didn't like that I cut. I had long hair, like long, like natural, no wigs, no weaves, just long hair. This is not a shot at anybody that wear wigs and weave. You do you, boo. But I had long hair, right? And I got tired of it. Tired. I've always had long hair my entire life, and I was like, you know what? I want to do something different. So the first time I cut it, I got an afro. I love afros. It is something about it that I love. Black Lives Matter. Um, I got a afro. I got all of my locks. You know, my long flowing hair cut off. It was this long. That's why I keep doing that. And then everybody's like, "Oh, you're slow. You're stupid." They called me all kinds of names. Like, "Oh, you shouldn't have did that. Your mama took so long." I was like, "It's just hair. It's gonna grow back." And sure enough, it grew back. And then it was like to right here. And I was like, you know what? I'm over this. It was like, "Oh, she pretty because she got long hair." It was all of those things, and I was like, I don't care about this." I literally just said the other day, I'm thinking about just wearing it until I'm 42 and then it's cutting it all up. So anyways, the second time, I was like, "You know what? My hair is black, so I always was like, had the black hair. I was like, I wanna do a touch of color. Let me do a touch of color." So, I got it the size buzz, I got it cut down, I had like a mohawk. And I was like, throw some color up in there. Threw that color up in there, and I've just been this color ever since. Rocking, different. I was gonna do another color, but I was like, no, this color grew on me. So I'm just gonna rock with this color. See, that's why where you can't care about what other people say, because like in my videos, I'd be like, you know what? People are already talking about you. Like you could feel it. You could feel when somebody is talking about you, you probably said it, all they talking about. If you already know someone is talking about you, why care? I said to my friends, they were like, "So when did you come out the closet?" And I was like, "I didn't know anything about a closet. I literally, I didn't know anything about a closet. I'm not even joking. I'm not even holding y'all. I never had to come out of the closet. But when I would listen to them coming out of the closet and they're sharing their stories, and I watched how hard, even my ex wife, when I watched how hard it was for her to come out of the closet, it was like a whole new world opened up for me. Like people are really out here struggling. And I'm not saying struggling with her sexuality. I'm saying like that was tough for her. It was tough for her to be like, "Hey, this is my truth. I know you guys probably aren't going to agree with it, but this is my truth." And for me, that was just like it unlocked a different part of humanity for me. Like it was like, wow, like I didn't that wasn't my experience, you know? That wasn't my experiences, but to be right there front and center while she did that, that was the most amazing thing for me. Like I don't even know how to put it in words. I'm like emotional right now just talking about it. It wasn't even me, but I was just there. And then it made me understand like how it made me understand the fight that people have. Like being black, being gay, being growing up in church, like it's so many different things stacked up against us, whether you're an immigrant, whether you like it's so many different things stacked up against you, but you still are able to watch, breathe, um, walk around, you're able to exist. So if you don't walk in the power of that, like I am a black woman. I am a lesbian black woman walking in all of my uh, blackness. I'm doing that. I would literally not be comfortable if I wasn't able to do that. I wouldn't be comfortable. Like if I had to change my hair so somebody else can be okay. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not changing anything so that you could be okay. Now, if we're in a relationship and we, come to understanding, okay, but I'm not gonna change my hair so that you will be okay. You have hair. Are you gonna change your hair so I'll be okay? No. You should live your best life right now. We don't know what tomorrow is. So like I told y'all, like I have what I believe to be a code, but I watch the news. This is why I see why people don't watch the news, because I watched the news and they was like, oh, Delta 7, it just started out a little cold. It's just a little cold. And I was like, nah, I know I ain't I know. I know I ain't been nowhere to get no Delta now. But the reality of it is this, right? You ever been to the store? You go to the store right now, somebody cough and sneeze. What do? I know they didn't just cough and sneeze in this store, knowing it's a global pandemic. We all do it. We all do it. When I first woke up and I was like, oh no. I'm laughing. That's nervous laughter. I was like, oh no, I know I did not. Then I started making up all these things. It was because I was eating food. It was because my nieces and nephews. It was because maybe it was just because I was tired. I wasn't taking care of myself. And my body was like, hey, we don't want you to get that. So we don't want you to slow down and rest. It could be because I was in different climates. I was in 127 degrees and I went up to the mountains and I came back here. I don't know. It could be a plethora of anything that it could be. But guess what I'm doing? Taking the proper safety precautions. I have hand sanitizer. I'm staying hydrated. I'm eating. I have ramen right here. I'm gonna have to, excuse me, warm it up. I mean, it's still hot because it's in a, uh, aluminum thing. Well, not aluminum. It's in a ceramic bowl. But yeah. So I'm not scared. I'm nervous. Yes, and I'm only nervous because it's like, oh, I couldn't see my niece before she went home. I can't hang out with Bobo and Cam Cam. Like it's those things. Like, girl, you could possibly. Hey, I never thought I would see 41. So I was on borrowed time. I'm on borrowed time anyways. I'm living my best life. I'm super excited. I have a music business seminar. Um, if you are a music creative, and if you are or someone you know is a music creative, you should check out the Blueprint Music Administrative. Oh, it's not even gonna let me do it. There we go. It's a link I just put in the. You should check that out. Um, yeah, because I feel like you know if if people that went before us, right? If people that went before us are older than us would share more wisdoms. And I don't even just mean like, you know what, you should probably look in the stocks, and like if you would just share wisdoms, like, listen, I was out here and I was selling drugs. I don't even know. I didn't. That was the first thing that came to my mind. And you would look at the younger generation and seeing what they're doing, just like pull them to the side, like, "Hey, young one, this is not what you want to do. The times have changed. Just share that information." Like, we know our grandparents and our aunties and uncles, we know they were experiencing molestation and rape and all of these different other things, but how did you how did you get to the point where you are? I know a lot of them feel like nothing happened, nothing happened. I didn't, that's the thing. But we already know. If Uncle Pete is if you are in your 60s and I'm in my 50s and Uncle Pete touched me, I, I'm inclined to believe that Uncle Pete done touched someone before me. He didn't just wait till all these time to be like, you know what, I'm gonna choose you. No, Uncle Pete been doing this. Grandma knew, everybody knew. We got to change the narrative. We got to start talking more. If you're a parent, talk to your child more. Talk to them, not at them, not about them, but to them. You are the first defense before anything else happens. You are the first defense. They say if you're a father, how you treat their mother shows your daughters how she's supposed to be treated. Mothers, if you have daughters, you show your daughter how she's supposed to be treated. Your parents, you show, if you are a father, if you are a mother, if you are a parent, if you are an adult, I'm just going to say an adult. If you are an adult, do not promise a child that you are going to do something for them as an adult if you are unable to do that thing that you say that you are going to do. Talk to the child about it. Don't take this, I'm the adult. Don't take that attitude, because this is what I'm going to tell you what you're going to do. You're going to scar, you're going to sow the seed of mistrust into that child, that teenager, that individual. You're going to sow that. How can I do that? Because you are the first line of defense. You are love, you are kindness, you are everything that they will know how to operate outside of your house. They will learn it in your house. When they say bullies be getting beat up at home or things be happening to bullies at home, so they go to school and they fight to get everything your child will learn comes from you. If your kids are always gossiping, talking about other people, where do you think they get it from? They hear you on the late night phone conversations. They hear it. Girl, did you see? Hey, bro, they see that. If you're a father and you have multiple women, your kids see that. Let's hold ourselves accountable for being there for others. Being there for others. If you are an older brother, you should want to, it's not, I'm not going to say it's not your job to be a role model, but you are essentially a role model. Because if you think about it, most siblings want to be like that elder sibling. My older brother played basketball, so I played basketball. My sister went to college, so I went to college. Like, it's they look up to you because it's like, oh, she moved out, so I want to move out. People are looking at you. People are looking up to you. Like, you might not believe it, but somebody's watching your YouTube or your Twitch channel. Is like, you know what? I see what they're doing. I want to do it. Or, people look at us. People look at me, and I know people watching me. So when I said I was going to be positivity and love, I know people are watching me. They waiting for that 1 minute for me to be petty. They waiting for me to be petty, and then be like, "I told you she wasn't gonna be there. She faking that positivity." Listen, I'm not faking it. I told y'all it was a struggle. It's what the world we live in. Every day you wake up and somebody being petty, somebody putting your name, somebody doing. Listen, we survived a global fucking pandemic. I'm over here being positive. I'm sharing all of this information today. I'm telling you to talk. Conflict resolution. If your boss keep coming to you and telling you you're gonna work overtime, or they want you to work overtime and you know you don't want to work overtime, open your mouth and say, I don't want to work overtime. You afraid to lose that job. Guess what? If you lose that job, you can go start your own business. Your baby daddy getting on your nerves. You tell him he getting on your nerves. Your baby mama tell her she getting on your nerves. Tell them you gonna lose them. So what? We afraid to be alone. You was born alone unless you got a twin. But even then, you were born alone because you came in the birth canal at one at a time. Unless you was conjoined, and then you still came in one at a time. You got to start telling people where to get on and get off because they have no problem telling you where to get on and get off. And again, you are currently surviving a global fucking pandemic. If you are not living your best life right now, you are wasting the air that you are currently breathing. You are wasting it. Wasting it getting up and going to a job that you know. That's the thing that I be wanting to ask people. How do you know that you hate the job? You talk about how much you hate it every day and still go to the job. Work extra hours, take up other people's shifts, all of that for a job that you hate. Do you see what that is? That's settling. I never wanted anybody around me to settle. Don't settle for me. Mm-mm. Go above and beyond me. Go be great. Go be great. Don't you shouldn't want you as a human being. You shouldn't want anybody to settle for you. Mm-mm. I ain't settling for no job. I ain't settling in for nothing. I know that I am pretty talented when it comes to helping music artists get their money, so I created a whole music business seminar on how to do that. Not only did I create a music business seminar, I have courses, I have other stuff that I am working on that I'm going to roll out and let everybody know cuz I feel like if people knew that there was a space that they could talk about it like my mama told me not to talk about the fact that I was molested. Why? Did you ever stop to think about why your mama never told you that? If it was your mama's husband, of course she's not gonna tell you to talk about that because now she has to answer questions to why she is still with the man that was molesting you. See how that go? Your mama don't want to answer them questions. Your daddy don't want to answer them questions. People don't want to answer them questions. They just want stuff to go like it is. My life has been good so far, so why would you come and forget the fact that you've been struggling? You done tried to off yourself. You done became an alcoholic. You done became a you done did all of these different things trying to figure out how or why these things happen to you. And nobody encouraged you to go to therapy. Listen, let me take this moment right now. I want to encourage you to go to therapy. You don't have to go sit on a couch. They do it virtual. Just like I'm speaking to y'all right now, they do that too. I know if you are religious, and I know a lot of religious organizations, a lot of religions tell you that you shouldn't go to therapy or they feel like going to therapy, people gonna put stuff in your mind. They ain't gonna do no worse. Ain't gonna do. Yes, I said it. Ain't gonna do no worse than your family been doing to you for years. You need to go talk to somebody who is unbiased. I know that's what people always say. I need to go talk to somebody who is unbiased. You need to go talk to somebody about what's going on with you. And talking to your mama who know what was going on with you the entire time and didn't do nothing to stop it, you don't need to talk to her. If your mama is miserable, you taking advice from her, what you think you gonna be? Miserable. If your daddy is miserable and you taking advice from him, what do you think you gonna be? Miserable. Misery loves company. Misery loves company. You should find an alternative. Find an alternative. If you've been miserable your entire life, sorry, my leg is really itching. If you've been miserable your entire life, if you feel like things just haven't worked in your favor your entire life, don't you think it's time for you to do something different? Or maybe you're just comfortable and accustomed to just being in that spot, so you don't even know that you deserve better. You don't know that you deserve better. You don't know how to get better. You just comfortable. If that is you and you survived a global fucking pandemic from 2020 all the way up until July of 2021, you're wasting time. You're wasting time, you're wasting breath, you're wasting opportunity. And I say that because maybe you don't realize how valuable time is. Time is priceless. You can't put a money value on time. I mean, you can, but are you really getting your money's worth for that time? You're not. Time is priceless. If you are in a situation where it's like, I really don't want to be here, but I'm here just because, you let me drive your car while you at work. You throw money at me, or you got good sex, or you got. If that's all you can say about your relationships, you really don't want to be there. You probably need to figure it out. I want to encourage you that to go to therapy And if you are in a relationship or you're ending a relationship or you just got out of a relationship, take some time. Take some time to yourself. Communicate with yourself. That's one of the things I should have said at the beginning. Communicate with yourself. Tell yourself that it's okay not to be okay, but I will be okay. Resolve it. Go on a journey of healing self discovery. Now, I'm going to tell you this. It is not for the faint of heart. And the most important thing of this journey is you have to be honest with yourself. If you're not ready to tell yourself the truth, don't go on it. That's another thing I realized that human beings don't like to do is tell themselves the truth. You know that the situation you are in, you don't want to be there. You're just there. It was cool. She cool, he cool, they cool. Cool. This job pays my rent. This job pays this, but you know, in the back of your mind, or you got a whiteboard or a vision board. How many vision boards have you made in the last 2 years? Like, have you accomplished anything on your vision board? Like, it's like these are questions that people should be asking. Like, okay, you just made your third vision board, but none of your vision has come to pass. Why is that? Was it because somebody said your vision was stupid and you were just like, yeah, maybe it is stupid. Well, I don't got enough money to do that, so Imma hold off. Did you wanna get married, but somebody was like, "Mm-mm, you shouldn't marry them," and then you didn't think about why you should marry him. You didn't think, or you should get a divorce. You didn't think about why you should get a divorce. You was just like, "Oh, they said I should do it, so let me do it." That's where we had to start using this. This is a really powerful thing. This. If you are not living life as a proud homosexual because you are afraid of what your family or the kind of heat you would take. Listen, it ain't no worse heat than any other thing. It ain't no worse. And you're already taking heat because people are assuming that you are. You know you are, but they're assuming that you are. So you already getting heat. So why don't you just live? Live your best life. My whole thing with like people was like, you don't why do you feel the way you feel about religion is because for some reason I just think that I have too many questions and there are not enough answers. That's one of the reasons. There's multiple reasons, but that is one of them. I just can't some things I just can't understand. I can't wrap my mind around it. I can't pull it together. And so because I can't I just choose to think the way I think. You know what I realized about being sick? Like all during the day, I'll be fine. I won't be congested or nothing. But at nighttime, it just got night outside. It just got night. It just turned dark outside, and I feel myself getting a little congested. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. I hope that you feel inspired to talk about the molestation, talk about the rape, talk about the business ideas, the business ventures, talk about um growth, talk about going back to school, talk about being a better parent, talking about being a better friend, mother, sister, auntie, uncle. Just be better, just converse, just live and walk in your truth, especially given that we are currently surviving a global fucking pandemic. If that's not good enough for you, think about on this day 2020, where were you? What were you thinking about? Were you hoping that you can go and see your mom or your nieces and nephews? Or think about the people that had babies in 2020 while there was a global pandemic. They call them pandemic babies. Oh, they are bad. Bubba's a pandemic baby, and she don't have a fear. She don't have a care in the world. She don't even care. You can say, "Don't touch that." She gonna do just like this, and then touch it and smile at you. And what you gonna do? She cute. I mean, no, no, it's not that. But it's just like we just need to converse more, talk more. Again, this is a safe space. If you have a conversation you want to talk about, I'm not going to talk about sex because, I mean, it depends. We'll talk. I'll say I depend. Depends on the topic of sex. If you're talking about me and you and I having sex, I'm not going to do that because, no, no, I'm not. I won't. Cause, anywho, no, I won't do that. But I will keep it like surface unless you hit me in my inbox in the DMs or something, and then we could talk. We could have a conversation. But yeah, remember, it is important for you to use your words. That is the only way that anyone will ever know what you are feeling and what you are thinking. That's the only way. I know there are some people out there who has mind reading capabilities. However, I am not one of them. I'm pretty sure you're not one of them. Now maybe you are. But it's still important for you to tell somebody how you feel, what you think, your I mean, you could give your opinion, I guess. It don't mean nothing really. Um, I will never let you see my beautiful face, my green hair, and these gorgeous dimples. You know they gorgeous. And click off of this live without me telling you to love yourself, know yourself, trust yourself, and just be yourself. I didn't even play my it's my going out music. I created this, by the way. Um Anyone who has ever said to you, I love you, if they cannot accept, acknowledge, respect, love, and appreciate you for being authentically you, not who they feel like you should be, not who they feel like they want you to be, but for being authentically you, you do not need them. Again, we are currently surviving a global fucking pandemic. You should be living your best life right now. Thank you, Tamika. Check out the blueprint, music administration, music business seminar. If you are an artist and you have music on YouTube, Twitch, wherever you are, if you have music there, you should be getting paid for it. You should definitely check out that. Um, if you're on YouTube, go up to the community tab and pick a song from 2015 that you want to hear me sing for Saturday Night Vibes next week. It's 2015. Um, I love you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, share, hit the notification bell, follow. I love you. I appreciate you. I appreciate all of the love and support. Um, you know what time it is. If you don't know what time it is, I suggest you watch the Finger Sweetie because they will tell you. I have enjoyed this conversation. I don't know if you have, but I have. Until next time.